What is up, guys? Eric here from BBM Productions, here back with a fighting video. Well, more MMA and boxing related video. I just want to take a sip here. This is in relation to, let's say, about a month and a half ago, with a fight and stuff like that. There's more I'm going to miss right now. Although, on the spot, I can think about a lot. But we're just going to gloss over a few things real quick. Okay. First off, guys, let's talk about Dmitry Bivol versus Artur Beterbiev that happened this weekend and people's reactions as well as my own. So, guys, I watched a few rounds and then I had to rush to bed because that day I had just finished with work. I was busy prepping two woofers for a client. They're going to be sent off to him in this week. Let's see how all this stuff works out, the weather, etc. Anyway, so I felt going into this fight that Artur Beterbiev would be locked up in his guard, while Bivol is striking and keeping him busy, keeping his guard closed up. And it kind of happened that way. However, he did retaliate often and with a lot of power, because we knew he had a lot of power going into this fight. But what ended up happening is he had enough to push back people later in the fight. Let me just check here something, guys. I think my camera's dirty, or it's just the light saturating the camera. But anyway, I don't know. Anyway, guys, sorry, it was bothering me for a moment, and I have OCD. All right, so what happened is that Bivol got pushed back in the later rounds. It looked like he was taking off, and because of that, a lot of the rounds were a lot closer than they should have been. And a lot of people think Artur did win. A lot of people feel that Bivol should have won. To me, I gave it one round for Bivol. However, this was so close that that's a sway round, meaning that I'm not too shocked that it went the other way. But I thought in my head, I was like, shouldn't that be a draw then? Because if it's a sway round, I see it one way, somebody else sees it a different way. And what will happen is it's a draw and we'll get a rematch, kind of like Triple G versus Canelo the first time. And this had that same vibe as well, because people afterwards were like, nah, Kadyrov won. You guys probably know who he is. I'm not going to go into his history and stuff. But yeah, so I feel Bivol did win. He did have more damage on his face, but people, again, they forget that when you're locked up like this and somebody hits hard enough, they hit you with your own glove. It does do damage to your face. I've had a cut on the eyebrow because of that same situation, especially when you have strapped gloves and it pulls on the head. Happens often. Skid marks on the face, all that kind of stuff happens. And carpet burn. Ooh. Anyway, guys, I feel we need a rematch. I'm going to rewatch the fight soon, but just more for fun. I feel Bivol should have won because of his activity. If you guys looked at the fight stats, it's crazy how Bivol defended 800 punches. That's insane. That's an insane defense stat. Yet people still feel Artur just won outright. Now I understand damage comes first and then the rest, but at what point does singular punches get topped by consistent punches? Like, let's say it like this. If I land one heavy shot, and then in another scenario with another fighter, that person lands like six shots for every big power punch I land. Then his 6 punches or 4 punches counts as much as my heavy shot. That means by the end of the fight, if he drowns me in punches, like a sea of punches, that guy won, and vice versa. You guys understand? I always tell people, you can't tell me that somebody is winning a fight just because he rocked somebody, or let's say like this, a round. You can't say somebody's winning a round just because he rocked that person, but the rest of the round he got peppered, like he was handled like a speed bag. You can't tell me that guy won then. Next up, guys, Brandon Royval versus Tyra. That happened this weekend. Gonna be honest with you guys, I had zero time to watch it, but I picked Brandon Royval to win, and he did win. I think going into this fight, people were like, oh no, Tyra will be sharp, he will be good. We'll just be good enough. He's a championship level fighter. Now, I said in my head, be that as that may, I think everybody forgot how good of a fight Brandon Royval had versus Pantoja and versus Moreno. How close it was. I was like, that was a whiskers away from being Royval as the champion. So I don't know why people are just discrediting him outright. And I was right. In the end, Royval won. And it's because of experience, guys. And how their styles clashed. I'm not going to get too deep into that because we have a lot to talk about. I'm just jumping between points real quick. Next up, guys, the shocking revelation or situation that happened of Alex Pereira not being pound for pound number one after his great win versus Khalil Roundtree. That was very shocking. And this leads into another point. People that were comparing Pereira to Islam Makhachev. I'll get into that now. But first, do you guys agree with me that we need Khalil Roundtree when he's a bit more healthy, obviously, and concussion is sorted out, versus Jamal Hill post his fight with Alex Pereira? Well, both of these. Because in the crowd, Jamal was just like, yawn, meh. And it seemed more like he was yawning against Khalil. It really did seem like that. Like he was being disrespectful. It was like, of course this was going to happen because this dude sucks. That's how it came across to me. And I felt like that's really offensive towards Khalil. And even worse when you know Khalil did the best versus Pereira in comparison to every other fighter that fought him. Jamal was slept by Alex. And he didn't handle anything in that fight. Khalil survived and really he dropped Pereira. He stood there and struck with him very well, caught him off guard a few times. Yes, I know he had injuries, but I don't care. Regardless, his skills showed and was better than everybody who has faced Alex Pereira up to this point at light heavyweight. And Jamal's like, yawn, loser, of course this was going to happen. And I was just like, this is really disrespectful and we need that fight. That is the fight to make. Now, obviously, Magomed Ankalaev versus Alexander Rakic is going to happen soon. And the winner there decides who fights Pereira. But that gives ample time for Khalil to heal up and Jamal to... Obviously, he's just going to sit and wait. It looks like he just wants to get the title shot and that's it. I think that's not going to happen. I think somebody else will get the shot before then, even in between. Like I see and predict that if Alex sees the opportunity to go up to heavyweight to get the belt, he will do that instead in between. That means, who's Jamal going to fight? Either he's going to fight Khalil or he's going to fight other contender much farther down. And then he will have to have 2 fights to get to the belt. Or he fights Khalil, and if he wins, he gets to the belt. If he doesn't, then womp, womp, womp. That disrespect didn't yield much. Anyway, guys, I think Khalil has all the weapons to beat Jamal. The only thing is, same issue I had in the... Well, okay, see. A few things have changed. Khalil closed distance a lot better versus Alex than he's ever done in his career. I checked it. He used his feet a lot better, in my opinion. And the explosions was just crazy. He really went for it. It's not like the other fights where he kind of paced himself a bit better. And I think it was because he was like, listen, if this guy beats me, it will be me going all out on my shield. Like, I'll die doing this instead. Yeah, guys, I'm going to cut this video off short here. But I just wanted to give my thoughts on these few topics. Also, Conor McGregor versus Dan Hooker, that might happen. I think it's all smoke, but that would be a cool fight. I'd like if that fight turns out into a technical... Okay, wait, sorry. A war, like the Dustin Poirier versus Dan Hooker fight was. Like, if Conor takes this fight and he gets that, his stock goes through the roof, even if he wins or loses. But yeah, guys, we'll talk soon. I have too many videos to post soon. So yeah, and it's going to be more so cardio and pro audio, and then a few MMA videos in between. Cheers, guys.